Nebraska, Damian Jackson, 26-year-old redshirt freshman, became a Navy SEAL after high school graduation, now a defensive lineman. And he takes out the Cornhuskers to do battle today with the Fighting Illini. And we say hello to everyone from the booth. Brandon Gaudin, Glenn Mason, Elise Spinnaker joins us shortly. And two teams, Coach, really trending upward if you look at their play in the last couple of weeks, right?
Brandon, how many times have you heard me say either a team is getting better or they're getting worse? Both these teams are getting better. And more importantly, they know they're getting better.
Boy, are they ever. And you look at Illinois last week, 55 points they put up in that win over against Minnesota. Then you had Nebraska almost win at Ohio State. And each of these teams has a playmaker. Reggie Corbin for Illinois, he's very good. Adrian Martinez, that freshman quarterback for Nebraska, so exciting to watch.
You know, every once in a while you'll face a team, and as a coach you think, you know, I've got to stop that guy to have a chance to win. Well, let me tell you, both these teams have that guy. You mentioned Reggie Corbin. We had the opportunity last week. This guy may be the best running back in all of the Big Ten Conference. Big plays. He had 2 runs over 70 last year. He's had 4 runs over 70 on the year, 5 over 60, 7 over 50. Big play has got to be his middle name. And on the other side of it, you know, for Nebraska, the freshman quarterback, Adrian Martinez, he is a perfect fit for Scott Frost's offense. He's a good runner. He's really good at running the option. He's an accurate passer. He can do it all.
He can do it all. He's been showing that, especially the last few weeks. You see his ranks in the Big Ten Conference. So I mentioned that it's chilly here today in Lincoln. I got to tell you, Lee Spinnaker, it's kind of nice up here in the booth. How is it down on the field?
It makes me really happy for you, Brandon. It's cold down here, in case you couldn't tell. But it's an interesting point for both teams, both quarterbacks in particular. Adrian Martinez for Nebraska, California native. This will be the coldest game he told me he's ever played. And A.J. Bush for Illinois. They tell me this will be the coldest game that he has played in at Illinois. So interesting storylines to follow there. On the field, though, they're prepared for it. They have heated benches. Illinois actually traveled with theirs, and heaters. Nebraska practiced outside to prepare for these temperatures earlier in the week. This week, they even had to get out in the snow. They made snow angels. And these coaches tell me the temperature is not a problem. The players, they're proving it. They don't need shirts. Who needs a shirt in this weather, right, guys? I guess it's not too cold for them. And to prove it, I've done some demonstrative reporting for you guys. I've had this water bottle out since about 9 a.m. Ice has started to form. You can't do that up in the booth, right, Brandon?
No, I got to tell you, our hot chocolate feels pretty good up here in the booth, Elise. Nebraska, yes, just 2 wins, but as we mentioned, almost getting the victory last week in Columbus, and this fan base is ready to rock today.
You know, I say it all the time. There's no better place to show off college football than Lincoln, Nebraska.
Nebraska won the toss. They elect to receive, and they will go down to a knee and bring it out to the 25. And we mentioned Adrian Martinez. He'll be the first to take the field under center.
Yeah, you know, there's a guy, he didn't even play his senior year of high school football, but yeah, he fit right in here. And yeah, he came in early, and so he went through spring practice last year, but he's found his groove, and man, he's fun to watch.
See what he did last week against Ohio State. Big Ten co-freshman of the week for the 2nd time in the last 3 ball games. And he continues to play with more and more confidence each and every time he steps on the field. Empty set here, and he's going to take off a designed run. So we're going to see 2 of the best running quarterbacks in the Big Ten, and there's an example. Martinez gets 8 yards on the first play.
Yeah, you know, he's a quarterback, but he's a big quarterback, 220 pounds, and he doesn't have any problem lowering his shoulder and taking it to a defender.
Divine Azigbo, the very talented tailback, to his right. And it's going to be Martinez keeping off the fake to Azigbo, and he's got some green grass, and he's into Illinois territory. Adrian Martinez. He may have started the year as a freshman. He doesn't play like it. 30 yards there.
And you can see why I say if you're going to play against the Cornhuskers, if you're on the other side of it, if you're Lovie Smith, you say, we have got to stop that guy if we're going to have a chance.
He is now over 500 yards rushing on the season, second most in the Big Ten behind Trace McSorley for a quarterback. And here he's showing the arm, wide open, and into the end zone, Stanley Morgan. Just like that, Nebraska has the lead. Seven-yard strike to Stanley Morgan. 3 plays, coach, in their end.
Well, you know, Troy Walters, the offensive coordinator of Nebraska, they script the plays. Well, I guess he scripted those pretty good.
Boy, did he ever. Yeah, the 2 Martinez runs, 1 of 8, 1 of 30, and then the 37-yard pass to Stanley Morgan. We played 62 seconds, and Nebraska's already found pay dirt. And there go the balloons in Lincoln. Outside of Memorial Stadium on a chilly day. 368th consecutive sellout inside the stadium, and they like what they've seen so far. A 3-play drive, a touchdown catch by Stanley Morgan. And there's the evidence. It says 367 now. They'll have to update that after today to 368. What a streak it's been, dating back to 1962.
Wow. And you know, the weather isn't always conducive here in Lincoln, Nebraska, but my experience, it doesn't matter if it's hot or cold, raining or snowing. They are here to support their Huskers.
Trust the process, as that guy says. And I'll tell you what, after that rough start, 0-6, but looking so much better the last 3 weeks. Confidence seems to be at an all-time high here. And a return coming out just short of the 25-yard line. So we saw Martinez, and now his counterpart, A.J. Bush, coming back where he started here in Lincoln.
Yeah, he started in Nebraska, then he left in junior college, then he went to Virginia Tech, then he went to Illinois. And, you know, we had him last week. Without a doubt, he played the best ball game of his career last week against Minnesota.
He was really good in that contest. 18 of 25, 216 yards, a couple of touchdowns. He rushed for 127 as well. So we told you Martinez can run it, Bush can too, but here he defers to Reggie Corbin, coming off his career high 213-yard performance.
Well,
A.J. Bush, as you said, Coach, 2014 and 15 here at Nebraska, although he never took a snap.
a lot of players still remember when he was here, though.
He was recruited by Bo Pelini during that era. There's a first down run for Reggie Corbin. Well, we will continue to highlight number 2. He gets 13 yards there. He is so impressive to watch.
You know, going into Minnesota, he was averaging 8 yards a carry, but he's only carrying the ball 11 times a game.
This time it's Bush with the option. He's going to run it. And he sneaks inside the defenders and all the way down to the 41 of Nebraska. And A.J. Bush a little slow to get up. Let's see if that happened at the end of this run.
Yeah, he got good yardage here, and I think when he was going down, the defender fell right on top of him right there.
Yeah,
might have knocked the wind out of him.
Yeah, that's Big Ben Stilley at 290 pounds, and he's going to go into the medical tent. So now that means that M.J. Rivers, the freshman quarterback for Illinois, comes in. He does have 3 starts and quite a bit of experience this year. He's going to take off. He doesn't run as well as Bush, but he does have the legs to do that, and he takes it to the 34, a gain of 6.
You know, as you mentioned with A.J. Bush going out, and here comes M.J. Rivers, it's not your normal situation with a backup that hasn't had a chance to play very much. He's had some really fine game reps.
But just like that, he's back to the sideline, and Bush returns to the game. 4 runs for 42 yards so far on this drive for Illinois. Corbin around the edge. He got past Doman, and he picks up the first and more. One man rarely brings down Reggie Corbin.
That guy is really something special, and that's why, I said in the open, he just may be the best running back in the league. I was truly amazed watching him last year, and what you can't let happen if you're a defense, if he gets to the safety, it's over. The safety has no chance.
Already 3 carries and 41 yards. This time a keeper. No, Bush is going to throw to the back of the end zone, and it's dropped by Dominic Stampley. I thought he was going to take off. Turned out to be a good decision. Stampley just didn't grab it.
Yeah, you saw he was going to take off and run it, but as all good players, quarterbacks, if they're running quarterbacks, what they'll do is they'll keep their eyes downfield. He saw a wide open man in the end zone. Should have been a touchdown.
The wind is blowing in that direction, so maybe that fooled Stampley a little bit. He didn't jump that high, and it went over his hands. Wind gusts could be up to 25 miles per hour throughout the game. Option. The pitch. Corbin to the 11. 3rd and 7. Good tackle by Trey Neal.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a mix-up by Bush. You saw that he tried to fake to the back. There was no back there. It was just a speed option. And because he tried to fake, there was a little bit of hesitancy. He was slow taking it down the line of scrimmage.
Lovie Smith hoping that his Fighting Illini can find the equalizer here. They have not been good on 3rd downs this season. A.J. Bush takes off. A.J. Bush into the end zone. Back in Lincoln where his career started, and he scores Illinois' first touchdown. So a 76-yard drive, and all 76 yards on the ground.
Yeah, you mentioned they haven't been good on 3rd down. You can see Nebraska blitzes the linebackers. There's one linebacker unblocked. A.J. Bush took care of him, and the rest was history.
One of our officials fell down on the play, got popped. He is okay. Let's see what happened. It was Jeff Stravinsky that.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's our head referee. He went down. And then A.J. Bush says, come on. We don't want you throwing any flags for that.
Maybe we let us send him over to that sideline tent to see what happens to him.
Jeff Stravinsky's a good guy. In charge of the crew today. Chase McLaughlin to tie the ball game. 7 apiece. Well, we said at the top of the broadcast that you might see some good offense today. The first 2 drives have proved us right. 7-all. A.J. Bush ties the game with a touchdown run, 7-all. Let's take a look at the Big Ten Conference standings, brought to you by Discover. So Michigan still in charge of the East, and Northwestern on top of the West Coast.
Yeah, the Wild Wild West. And you look at Northwestern, if they win 2 of their final 3 games, they'll be headed to Indianapolis, but they sure would like to pick up that win today.
And Jeff Stravinsky, after getting knocked over by A.J. Bush, went into the medical tent, so they had to bring in the alternate, Mike Conlon, who will at least be momentarily taking over for Stravinsky.
Yeah, well, I hope he's okay.
Yeah, hopefully it's nothing serious. They're going to go check him out. So Mike Conlon called into duty to replace him. Maurice Washington dancing around, and Illinois special teams comes up. It drops him around the 10. Christian Boback, nice tackle. Here's what happened to Jeff Stravinsky.
Ooh.
Just very accidental, obviously, and A.J. Bush went right over to him.
You know, anybody that'll tell you that's coached, because how big these guys are, that, you know, if that tip of that shoulder pad catches you on the side of the head, man, that hurts.
Mike Conlon replacing him, who was the alternate. So Nebraska had a 3-play, 76-yard drive, their first time out. An empty set for Martinez to start drive 2. Quick strike out to Kane Warner, son of Kurt Warner, to the 19, a gain of 8.
You know, this Nebraska offense, like most spread offenses, they have the ability to go really fast. At times they do, times they don't.
Yeah, a lot of varying speeds, a lot of this. Check to the sideline. See Adrian Martinez try to keep his hands warm in the kangaroo pouch behind his back. Gives to Washington. Washington, the freshman, with a load of speed. First down and then some. Divine Ezigbo's had a great year, but Maurice Washington is a really talented
man, they're
guy.
high on him. And watch this play here. Interesting. They had 2 linemen, left guard, left tackle, pulled to the right, but the ball went to the left. Man, I'll tell you that. If you're a linebacker, you don't know what to do on that.
Washington, you see 360 yards, 5.5 per carry. Ezigbo over 6 yards per carry. Both of these teams so dangerous running the football. Quick throw out again. It's Warner, but this time he's going the wrong direction. Nate Hobbs coming up to make the stop. Let's take a look at our Auto Owners Insurance Impact players.
Well, you got to start out. You talk about running the football, but Divine Ezigbo just shy of 800 yards on the year. Wide receiver Stanley Morgan. Big day last week. 7 receptions against the Buckeyes. And Del'Shawn Phillips, 3 picks for the Illini. And that safety, Tony Adams, he's the last resort for those big plays.
And we've got an injury. We're going to take the timeout. We'll fill you in on the other side. It was defensive end Isaiah Gay who was injured, so he goes into the medical tent. That's one thing to pass along. And then Jeff Cervinsky is back, our referee who was in the medical tent. He has returned, and so alternate Mike Conlon goes back to the sideline. Good to have Jeff Cervinsky back out there.
Tough guy.
And a 2nd and 11 after all of that for Nebraska. But it's not going to be 2nd and 11 for long. Maurice Washington takes off all the way into the red zone. Touchdown saving tackle by Tony Adams, but the freshman Maurice Washington scampers all the way for 51 yards.
I'll tell you what I love about this offense. Listen, look at all the misdirection. And, you know, if you're watching this game at home and you're not sure where the ball goes, I guarantee those guys out there playing in the white shirts don't know where they're going.
Scott Frost talked glowingly about him yesterday, Washington. Now, this is the other back that he loves to have, Divine Ezigbo. Taking it inside the 15 for a gain of 5.
Yeah, he talked about Ezigbo, and he said, you know, here's a guy that started out this year in a 3-man rotation at running back, and quite honestly, he was the 3rd teamer. He didn't complain. He kept working hard. He became the leader of that group, and here you go.
Saw Maurice Washington go to the sideline and sit on the bench. And now a keeper for Martinez. And he ducks down just inside the 10. Jake Hansen with a stop, so we'll have a 3rd down and short coming up.
Well, this will be a key call for Lovie Smith now, the head football coach who's also the defensive coordinator for the Illini, and they played a lot better defense last week. Let's see what they can do here.
Now, Hardy Nickerson stepped down 2 weeks ago, so 2nd straight week Lovie calls the defense. Martinez, though, no one's on him. Into the end zone, there is a flag down back around the 11-yard line. So hold everything.
Offside. Defense number 99. Holders declined. Touchdown.
And Adrian Martinez with his 7th rushing touchdown of the season.
And Lovey's got to think that's a little too easy. The quarterback went in not only standing up, but untouched.
Well, Scott Frost told us, look, I think we're going to be able to move the football against this Illinois defense, and they have through 2 drives, no problem. Extra point right down the gut for Barrett Pickering. An 89-yard drive capped off by this, the freshman quarterback into the end zone. A lot of of offense early, a lot of rushing offense. Remember, this graphic is not Big Ten. This is the most improved teams in the country in rushing this year.
Yeah, that's a boatload of yards, 143 for the Illini and 109 for the Cornhuskers. And, you know, amazingly, because normally you think about Scott Frost and that offense, everybody thinks about, oh, throwing the ball over the lot. No, they run the ball very effectively.
And so far in this game, 120 rush yards for Nebraska, 76 for Illinois. And Dre Brown, oh, he tripped. For some Illinois offensive observations, let's welcome back in Elise Menaker.
Number one, Brandon, to Dominic Stampley, and that you can make that play. You've got to catch that ball in the end zone. And then number two, they don't want the environment or atmosphere to dictate their tempo. They want to pick it up. Instead of letting the play clock get down to about 5 or 6 seconds, they want to go faster. And they said that we're going to have to continue to score, so they know it, guys.
Yeah, it's going to be a track meet if the first 7.5 minutes is any indication. This drive, like the last one, starts out at the 24-yard line, and it's a pickup of 2. Dedrick Young with the tackle.
Yeah, nice tackle on Reggie Corbin. And, you know, you talked about Scott Frost before. He said, I think we'll be able to move the ball on Illinois. And I said, well, what's your concern? He said, Reggie Corbin.
Reggie Corbin, who is 2 yards away from 1,000 on the season. He's got it here. He's over 1,000 on that run. And whoa, is there a targeting hit at the end of that? No, just a good clean tackle, they say, by Muhammad Berry.
Let's watch it right here. He's going through, and number 7's going to come in there. And
ooh, what do you think, Coach?
That's just a football play. I mean, he's a ball carrier, and he's cutting back. I think it's just a good football play.
So now 3rd and 1. But on that last carry, Corbin, the first Illinois back to go over 1,000 yards in a season since 2010. And A.J. Bush changing the play. He's going to keep it on the follow, and he's got the first down. We saw him do that several times last week against Minnesota. Auto Owners Insurance Impact players on this side of the football.
Well, for the Illini, we've seen a lot of them already, but A.J. Bush, he's playing his best football of all year long. Ricky Smalling had a 68-yarder touchdown last week. Muhammad Berry, number 7, we saw that big tackle a second ago. And Aaron Williams, the safety.
This time A.J. Bush going nowhere. Khalil Davis.
And Aaron Williams at safety, he's got to be heads up for play-action passes.
2-yard loss on this excellent effort by the defensive end. His 5th tackle for a loss this season. Fake the give to Corbin. Bush. It was caught, but was he inbounds?
I think he got the right foot in.
Sam Mays, they are going to say it's a completion and a first down, a gain of 17.
Yeah, you only need 1 foot, and watch this. Great concentration. He gets up in the air, highest point. Now watch the right foot. Oh, that's a catch. Great play.
An excellent catch indeed. 21st reception of the season for the senior Mays. Option. Bush keeps, dragged down by the ankles. Muhammad Berry got him. Interesting, Muhammad Berry was actually kind of recruited here by A.J. Bush. We mentioned Bush started his career as a quarterback at Nebraska. They're both from Georgia. And A.J. Bush hosted Muhammad Berry on his visit as one of the reasons that he came here to be a Cornhusker. So good friends playing on opposite sides of the ball today. Bush with all kinds of time. Back to Corbin. That was pretty. And Reggie Corbin goes inside the 10-yard line. A great pass back across the field from Bush.
Yeah, you know, I thought the Cornhuskers had this sniffed it out. They had a guy playing over there. When he went to throw it, I thought, oh, it's going to be interception. But no, it was right on the mark and missed the tackle. And you don't want to miss a tackle and give number 2 any running room.
Well, that's for sure. 34 yards for Corbin on that reception. Keeper up the middle. Second rushing touchdown of the game for A.J. Bush. And number 2 looked very similar to touchdown run number 1 for him.
Wow. It's just the blast read. They fake to the back. They read the end. If the end goes for the back, quarterback keeps the ball. Walk in the end zone.
Why is that so tough to defend?
Well, watch it right here. You'll see back goes outside, and you're trying to get outside, and you don't know if it's going to be a triple option, double option. The quarterback's going to keep the ball, but a lot of elements there.
Laces were in, but McLaughlin doesn't care. He boots it right through, and Lovie Smith's crew has tied us up once more. Let's take a look at this message from ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire and the official hiring partner of the Big Ten Conference.
Some job boards give you tons of the wrong resumes. That's not smart. Then there's smart. ZipRecruiter finds people with the right skills, education, and experience for your job and actively invites them to apply, so you get qualified candidates fast. That's why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. ZipRecruiter, the official hiring partner of the Big Ten Conference. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Big Ten.
So A.J. Bush, 7 rushing touchdowns on the season. 4 of them have come in the last 3 quarters.
Well, you know, we talked about it. Sounds very redundant, but we had him last week, and going into last week's game, I had a chance to watch him on film quite a bit, and he's playing so much better. And the one thing that I see, he has a lot of confidence right now.
Both of these quarterbacks playing with supreme confidence. And A.J. Bush had lost the job to M.J. Rivers, but then the game that Rivers started 2 weeks ago, he had a concussion. Bush came in and played really well at Maryland and won the job back.
Well, we've had a lot of scoring in this game, and neither team has had ideal field position, but neither defense can stop anybody.
I think that's going to be the question. Which defense can stop someone in this ball game? If you're looking for the Maryland-Indiana contest, go to btn.com/gamefinder right now. Let's see where you can find that game in your area. So, okay, Adrian Martinez, now it's your turn. We'll screen out to the left side to Stanley Morgan. Shoved out for a short pickup.
Well, they're playing aggressive on the Illini side of the ball defensively. They're lined up playing man coverage, tight man coverage on those receivers. And
you got to watch out for Morgan and Spielman, 2 of the best in the conference playing on the same team. Devine Zigbo trying to cut it back inside. Not much there, so 3rd and long coming up. Let's see what Scott Frost is going to call off the play sheet, the 43-year-old head coach. Sitting down with him, he is just so cool, isn't he, Scott Frost?
yeah, very confident.
And he's got this fan base re-energized, no question about that.
Nobody on the second receiver, though.
Oh, he's got him right over the middle. You called it, Coach. You got to pick up J.D. Spielman of all people, and he takes it to midfield.
Not only do you have to pick him up, you have to initially cover him. He was the 3rd receiver lined up. There was no one on him. And there was 2 on the second receiver. You know,
yeah, that was miscommunication. His team leading 60th reception of the year. Martinez gives to Devine Zigbo. These 2 offenses right now, it is a hot knife through butter on a cold day.
yeah, just watch it here. Look at this. Look at, man, they're getting great movement. That hole was big enough for 2 guys to run through.
I might have been able to pick up 10 or 15 there. I don't know.
Let's not get carried away.
Martinez is going for everything, and he's got his man. 2nd touchdown of the day for the senior Stanley Morgan. So Stanley Morgan had a 37-yard touchdown reception. That one 32.
Well, you can see why this guy's a perfect fit. We've seen him run it. We've seen him run the option. We've seen him zing it in there. And then this is a little touch pass to a wide-open receiver. Laid it in there perfectly.
Extra point up and good. Nebraska. They've had 15 offensive plays in this football game and 3 touchdowns. 239 yards of offense. Martinez back on the sideline with a jacket on to try and stay warm. But between these two teams, we've had 5 drives and 5 touchdowns.
Now, what were we saying about maybe the effect of cold weather on Martinez?
Yeah.
Should we go back and revisit that?
Yeah, we might want to revisit that. I don't think the kid from Fresno, California is too phased. Kicking into the wind. Dre Brown came up to take it. And he'll get it out to the 28-yard line. Let's go back to that touchdown catch by Morgan.
Yeah, you can see it right here. There's nobody on. There's nobody on him, and they let him go right away. And there he goes. They've got problems. We've seen covering that inside receiver. They didn't cover him last time with Spielman there. This time they had a guy out there, but it was no problem.
Stanley Morgan continues to wreak havoc on opposing defenses. Bush keeps, pitches out. Dre Brown. Oh, somehow able to escape and get across the 30.
Timeout for an injured player.
It was Antonio Reed who couldn't get him to the ground, and now Antonio Reed cannot get up. The senior safety in some pain. Try to see what happened here.
Yeah, well, that was a good, tough run by Dre Brown. And see it right there.
So Trey Neal misses. Then here comes Antonio Reed.
Yeah.
Oh, but he seems like he's in a world of pain. The athletic training staff around him. And we're going to step aside for the injury timeout. Antonio Reed still down. Now, I don't know that it's his knee. He did battle a knee injury last year as a junior. He was coming off one of his best games, a season-high 7 tackles against Ohio State. But they're paying extra special care, or extra special attention, I should say, extra care with Antonio Reed right now.
Yeah, Dre Brown breaks the 1 tackle, and it's hard to see.
Looked like he was flexing his right hand and arm there.
Yeah.
Looks like he'd lost the feeling. I don't know if that's it. I don't know if it's the leg. But at any rate, he's going off, and hopefully he'll be okay.
He looks like he's walking. Just there he goes. Yeah. And let's mention Dre Brown. You know, that's an interesting story. He had a great game last week, and a guy that's overcome a couple knee injuries, and I just love guys like that.
Battling through adversity. We got a lot of those on each side. Hey, like they say, only the greatest fans fill the stadium for a 2-17. Well, they've been doing this since 1962. 368 consecutive sellouts. Off the play action. A little high for Sam Mays.
Yeah, play action. And he'd like to have, A.J. Bush would like to have that one back open, because that was wide open.
Boy, was it ever.
You know, he saw the open blitz coming, and it seemed like he leaned back throwing the football. Sometimes you got to just get up on that front foot, throw it on in there, and take the hit.
Because he saw J.J. Doman out of the corner of his eye. But you're right, Coach. If Mays had that in stride, he could have gone a long way. Instead, 3rd and 7. Take off. And get the first down. Yes, A.J. Bush does it again. He is running all over this Cornhusker defense.
Well, that quarterback draw versus the blitz is just eating the Cornhuskers up. I mean, they came with a blitz again, and He just pulled the ball down and ran with it, and there's no one there.
23 yards before finally being shoved out of bounds by Trey Neal, the safety. He has 65 already on the ground as Bush. Is he going to run it again? Yes. This time better defense. Trey Neal again with the stop after a pickup of 5.
Yeah, you watch it right here. He fakes the dive, and he's coming down like it might be the option. But, you know, the other part of that option always isn't a pitch. You can throw a pass out to the wide receiver, and it's just like a triple option. I think that's what he was looking to do.
Keeps again. Throws it downfield and dropped. Dominic Stampley. He dropped one, remember, in the back of the end zone. He can't believe it. That's his second drop.
Maybe the cold weather's affected him, but I mean, come on now.
And that's a guy the last 2 weeks who's had 12 catches for 218 yards and 2 scores. And he's beside himself.
Yeah, Lumpy's thinking you want to get a win against the Cornhuskers on the road. We need you to make that catch.
So now they need to convert a 3rd and 5. And Bush, that pass was deflected. He had Sam Mays open, but it was tipped at the line by Carlos Davis, the nose tackle.
One of the things that they think they have to improve on here in Lincoln is they don't get much of a pass rush out of just 3 guys or 4 down rushers. They always have to rely on the blitz, but that time there wasn't any pressure. But Carlos got that big hand up and got hand on the ball, which is, I guess, just as good as good coverage, maybe better.
Yeah, it works. We saw his brother Khalil Davis. Those two are twins from Blue Springs, Missouri. Trickles into the end zone. 41-yard punt. So that'll only net 21 yards. Reminder, more football coming up next. 4th-ranked Michigan pushing off toward an East Division title in the college football playoff. They'll be in New Jersey to take on Rutgers. It's all presented by Jaguar. 3:30 p.m. Eastern right here on BTN and the Fox Sports app. Speaking of Michigan, I think that defense has been pretty good this year.
You know, that's one of those defenses I talk to you all the time. I throw the film on to get ready for a game. When I put that Michigan tape on and watch that defense, I think, man, I don't want to play those guys.
What a job Devin Bush and Don Brown, the coordinator, they've done this year. So we're coming off the first stop we've seen by either defense in this game. Mo Washington with a carry. Not a whole lot there around the edge. And that winds us to the end of the first 15 minutes
of the first quarter.
An exciting first 15 minutes that started with a flyover the Chinook helicopters, and then all the energy transition to the field. 21-14 Nebraska. First quarter, a lot of offense. 424 yards worth and 35 points between the two teams. And Nebraska wearing the throwback uniforms. It's a tribute to the 100th anniversary of the end of World War II, and also celebrating Memorial Stadium, which was named to honor the Nebraskans who served in our nation's wars. So that is why Nebraska has these unis on today. And J.D. Spielman with the reception as he's escorted out of bounds shy of the 30 in front of a sold-out crowd at the aforementioned Memorial Stadium.
Something new here in Lincoln. Sold out.
Yeah, never heard of that, have they? What an atmosphere it is just yesterday, this morning.
I've not checked this out, but someone told me they've been sold out for so long they don't even have a ticket booth in this stadium.
See the 5 national championships, last one in '97. Of course, Scott Frost was a part of a couple of those. Nice run and a flag down. Adrian Martinez gets the first momentarily.
Tackled by Cameron Watkins. There is a flag on the play.
Jeff Cervinski.
Holding. Offense, number 67. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
So back him up. That hold is on the left guard, Gerald Foster.
Yeah, you can try to see it right in there. You can see 67 right in there. Scott will say, man, you got to, Gerald, you got to get those hands inside. You can't grab the jersey, man. you had the guy going inside.
First assessed penalty on either team. Adrian Martinez is a perfect 7 of 7 throwing the football. Might have to use that arm again here on 3rd and 12. He will use that arm. Now he's 7 for 8. J.D. Spielman could not bring it in.
Yeah, he couldn't bring it in. I'll tell you, there was a lot of cross traffic there. You watch it right here. You can see defenders going for it. He normally makes that catch, though.
Sidney Brown was going for the interception.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised he didn't go for the receiver.
Yeah, well, no, you got to go. You know, they intercepted 13 balls in the year.
But he was behind him.
Yeah, I know. Well, he went the wrong place.
As if Spielman could have caught that, and Brown wouldn't have been there, he could have gone a long way. Now, wait a second. He dropped that, did Carlos Sandy, who recovered it. Nebraska saying they have it. Nebraska does have it. A special teams gap for Illinois.
There's a muff punt recovered by Nebraska. First down and 10.
Remember, this punt was into the wind, and Sandy was kind of fooled by that.
You can see it. That's tough. You always like to field the pump when you're running forward, and it's a windy ball and it's a wobbly ball. It's tough. And, you know, it's interesting. Scott Frost said, you know, last week against Ohio State, we played well enough to win on offense, defense, but not the kicking game. We must get better in the kicking game.
Yep, and this is an example. Chase Urbach was able to get in there and recover it for Nebraska.
Now do they go big right away?
I know you like that method.
I do.
They're going to pop it in front to Stanley Morgan. He got away from one, but barely back to the line of scrimmage. Good job by Urbach, though, to recover the fumble and give Nebraska the ball back. He's the long snapper, so an impressive recovery for him.
Now, you know, if you're Lovie Smith in line, all coaches talk about this is a sudden change. You got to go out there and do your job. You got to stop him.
2nd down and 9. Martinez keeps, and Martinez picks it up. First down.
What makes spread offenses really tough is not the spread offense. It's if you have a running quarterback in the spread offense. Extra ball carrier, as they talk about, an extra gap to defend. It's a defensive coordinator's nightmare.
50 yards and the rushing touchdown already for Adrian Martinez on the ground. And now he's going to add to his passing day. Stanley Morgan makes 2 miss. Showing his shiftiness before being brought down by Tony Adams.
They go unbalanced formation and then throw the ball back out to the field. Not only did he make a great catch, man, he doesn't want to stop there. I love when guys just fight for that extra yard, extra inch. I don't like switching the ball in traffic there, though.
Lovie Smith this week told us, I'm just glad that Stanley Morgan's finally graduating. This time, Morgan thought about trying to heave it, and now a flag comes in as he's shoved out of bounds. There was no second flag, I don't think, for the shove. If some people thought that may have been late.
Yeah, they were trying to go with the trick play, the throwback to the quarterback.
They're trying to sort all this out.
No pick on it unless the ball's thrown.
Personal foul, face mask. Defense, number 35. Half the distance to the goal from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
That's on one of their leaders, the linebacker, Jake Hansen.
Yeah, but that's what they were trying to do. A little trickery, run the play, and you'll see it right there.
Yeah, on the right side of your screen.
Oh, yeah, he's got his hands in his face mask, and they didn't call a late penalty out of bounds there.
But Nebraska still is going to get good field position as they have the football in the red zone.
Yeah, number 35, Jake Hansen, the linebacker, just trying to fight off the block and inadvertently got his hand in the face mask.
Ball Ball down to the 13. Zigbo. Flag comes in from the backside. Zigbo to the 6-yard line. The flag came in right.
Holding. Offense number 67. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Second penalty on Gerald Foster.
Yeah, the big fella from Lincoln. It's hard to see.
They got him holding right there. Calvin Avery.
Yeah. At the end, they got you.
Yep, got him holding Calvin Avery. Gerald Foster, two-time captain, only at the 11th. One of those in Nebraska history. Martinez pressured, escapes, and now keeps. That was a pretty good job of getting away from some traffic.
Escape artist, and then, you know, he did the right thing here. You know, a week ago he got in a similar situation like this at Ohio State, and he threw the ball, but he threw it backwards and resulted in a turnover. It looks like he learned his lessons. Hey, there's nothing there. I'm just going to get as much as I can, get out of bounds.
Yeah, that play last week at Ohio State was frustrating. Scott Frost said, I don't know what he was doing. That was one of his few freshman mistakes this year. He's going for the end zone. Wide open, buddy. Overshot J.D. Spielman.
Martinez passes incomplete.
There's no doubt he had him. He was in his own area code.
He had great protection. He had a wide open receiver going on the flag route right for the pylon. And all he had to do was lay it in there like we saw him lay the other pass in the first quarter. Wide open.
So now 3rd and 15. That'll get him down to the 10 and make the field goal attempt a little easier.
Well, you know, on that one to Spielman, they had the matchup they wanted. He was working on Delshon Phillips, the linebacker. That's a mismatch. He can't, no way can he cover J.D. Spielman on a deep route like that.
Just one that Martinez missed, and now they will hope that Barrett Pickering does not miss as he comes on for the field goal. Just a 27-yarder. That inside the right upright to take the lead to 10. Chase Urbach, he's the one who recovered the fumble, and that led to the 3 points for Nebraska. BTM football presented by PNC. Nebraska has expanded the lead to 10. 10:36 left, second quarter. Hey, Elise, do you want us to bring you any of this hot chocolate that we've got up here in the booth?
Yeah, can you have that delivered, Brandon? That would be fantastic. The players actually might like it, too. I've been on this Nebraska sideline. They're not just sitting on the heated benches. They're sitting on top of them, and they're all huddled around the heaters, putting their hands, their gloves, their helmets, their bodies. So many players that Isaac Armstrong couldn't even practice kicking.
It is chilly, chilly, chilly. We talked about the winds making the temperature feel like it's in the teens. Kick through the end zone. Scott Frost, he's got on the sweatshirt and the cap, 43-year-old head coach. And there's the wind that we talked about. Could gust up to 20, 25 miles per hour today.
Yeah, right before half, we had a gust right through this booth right here. It's woke everybody up.
You see the winds start of the second quarter at 20. Feels like, well, I said teens. That says 8 degrees, so we'll go with that.
Can the Cornhuskers get another stop?
Corbin, look for space. Able to get it just across the 30. Reggie Corbin last week against Minnesota when the Illini put up 55 points. Look at that, first Illinois player to run for 200 since 2000. 270-plus yard rushes. First running back to do that since 1944.
And he only carried the ball 13 times.
That's the part that is hard to figure out, but it helps the yards per carry average. Trey Neal shoves out A.J. Bush, so 3rd down coming up. Let's look at a play from last week, Reggie Corbin.
I'd love to watch this play. Just watch him right here. It's an awful good play. They're making the read play. They're going to give him the ball to read the end on the left. Left tackle's going to pull really good block right there. Get the inside seam. Now watch this. If that safety is that far away from him when he's got the ball, forget about it. It is over.
That was one of his 70-plus yard touchdown runs last week. Illinois only needs 2 here on 3rd down. They've got Corbin and Rayvon Bonner in the backfield. But it's going to be the quarterback that keeps and picks it up. That's been their most successful play, has it not?
Yeah, it has been the most successful play. And, you know, and talking to the defensive coaches of Nebraska, I say, you know, you're going to be facing an offense that is very similar to your own offense that you see all the time. Should that be an advantage for you? And they said, yeah, but you still have to account for the quarterback all the time.
And that quarterback has converted 4 3rd downs running the football. This time off his back foot, throwing it, and it's well underthrown. He's lucky that Luke Gifford didn't have his head turned, or that would have been an interception.
Yeah, that would have been a big mistake. He wasn't in the position to throw the ball. Well defended up front, forcing him to watch it. He's throwing off his back foot. It's hard to throw the ball that deep when you're falling backwards.
Reggie Corbin felt like he had a step, but the ball was nowhere near. First carry of the game for Rayvon Bonner. Bonner missed last week with an ankle injury, back today.
You know, the other thing on that last pass, he was into the wind. It's not going to help him. So if you don't have some force on it, a good tight spiral, that ball's just going to flutter up there.
We saw the drop punt because of the wind, so it is wreaking havoc, no doubt.
They go back to the quarterback on 3rd and short again.
It was 3rd and 2 last time when he ran for the first. This time he hands it off to Corbin. It's close.
I think he's got it.
Carlos Davis on the stop.
No signal yet. They're going to measure this.
I think that was a generous Nebraska spot there. Let's watch it. Maybe his knee did go down.
And he did go down a little sooner than I thought, too.
Yeah, I think it's a good spot. I didn't see his knee go down.
Four down territory, possibly, even if he doesn't get this, but let's see.
You'd have to go for it.
He's going to be short. I mean, short by an inch. An inch. So, you're going for it, right? You just said it?
Absolutely. The only thing I don't like, and I talked about with these coaches before, I like to get that center, that quarterback right up under center when you only need an inch. I don't like that direct snap 5 yards in the backfield. And even if you give it to a running back, I like it when you used to have that eye back, tail back, whatever you want to call him. And, man, he had that running start of 7 yards downfield, full head of steam, maybe with a fullback in front of him.
You were saying that kind of to Scott Frost yesterday. He said, I'm old school. When you just need a little bit, I want that quarterback under center.
And he didn't disagree with it, right?
Yeah.
He did not disagree with it.
It's 4th and 1.
So call it 4th and 1, but really it's 4th and an inch.
You know, especially now you put that quarterback under center and on the center quarterback sneak, and it's legal for the back to come up and push you. Man, that's an advantage. Northwestern does it. Oh, there they go.
They did put him right under center and pushed him forward for the first down.
I like it. Lovey, I like it. You've been listening to me, Lovey. You know who does a great job of that? Northwestern. They line up in a double wing formation. They put one wing in motion. As soon as he gets behind the quarterback, ball snap, he pushes the guy. Boom, first down.
Well, worked well there as A.J. Bush easily picks it up. Let's watch this from behind. As A.J. Bush got a little boost.
Well, it used to not be legal, but it's legal now. I don't know why they changed it. But first down.
Fakes the give. Finds Ricky Smalling down inside the 35. Another first down. Ricky Smalling coming up limping a bit. He had a big game last week, including a 67-yard touchdown, but he's going to stop and go to the ground before reaching the sideline.
This is a full media timeout.
We'll be back. A little over 7.5 left in the second. Next Saturday, West Lafayette is where BTN Tailgate will be. Dave, Jerry, Howard, Spice, and Michelle setting the scene before an important day around the conference. And it's all presented by Geico. Next Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern, right here on BTN. So saw Ricky Smalling go down with the injury. He went to the sideline. Was a first down catch, though. So 1st and 10. Bush sets up, fires. And that one's dropped by Sam Mays. Now, contact came by Jackson at the end, but he wasn't able to hang on.
Yeah, you can see. I mean, there's another one. I mean, come on, fellas. You got your hands out. You got to bring it into your body, look it right in. And I mean, Bush can't throw a better pass than that.
And offensive coordinator Rod Smith said that's the one thing we've got to fix with these wide receivers is the drops, and we've now seen 3. Bush lost it at the end, but was he down?
I think he was down.
Haven't seen a signal. Jojo Doman jumped on it.
The fumble covered by the defense. First down and 10, Nebraska.
Well, we're going to have to get another peek at this one.
I thought the official on the Illini sideline coming off the side said he was down. Let's watch it. Good hit. Good hit.
Ooh, no.
Yeah.
I think it might be out.
Yeah. I think it was moving before he hit the ground.
Trey Neal was the one ripping at it. And then Jojo Doman recovered it.
Ruled a turnover on the field.
Dick Honig back at Chicago. Do you agree with the call?
I think I do. I think that ball was being pulled out before any body part hit the ground. So I think it is a fumble.
And they stick with it. They don't even review it. So it will be Nebraska football. And Divine Azigbo gets the first carry. One more look. Yeah, ball's out. Good call.
Yeah, initially I thought he was down. You can see that ball's moving before he hits the ground.
Of course, they're looking at everything in the booth, but they didn't officially review it on the field with Jeff Cervinsky. So they saw what we just saw, and the correct call is made.
They got the same problem here. They got 3 receivers, only 2 defenders over here.
Down at the bottom of your screen.
Before.
Spielman. And he's tackled right around the line to gain. They will give him the first down.
That doesn't work. They're lucky they went with the bubble screen rather than just sending that inside receiver down the field like we saw before. They're not aligned right. Now they're trying to disguise and get the 3rd guy out, but that's dangerous.
Yeah, at the last minute, Delano Ware came over, but it was too late. Right through the middle. There it goes. Divine Azigbo off to the races. 10-5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Timeout for an injured player.
"66 yards for the senior Divine Azigbo."
Yeah, what a classic trap play right up the middle. Block back, right guard pull, gets the trap, and it's off to the races.
You think about it, Illinois has had 2 turnovers. They had the botched punt, 2 giveaways, and then the fumble. That's led to 10 points for Nebraska. And that was a career-long run for Divine Azigbo of 66 yards. Extra point in off the left upright. Little bank shot.
Anybody can hit it right down the middle.
Pickering wanted to make it interesting. Nebraska 4 plays of over 30 yards, and 3 of them, including this run, have gone to the house. Another look look at Devine Ezigbo's touchdown run.
Yeah, you can see Quan Martin, the number 21. He had a chance to bring him on down, but he didn't get him wrapped up. I guess bringing that guy down easier said than done, and classic trap play that went the distance.
10th rushing touchdown of the season, one more than Illinois' Reggie Corbin for second most in the Big Ten, behind Jonathan Taylor of Wisconsin, who has 11. Illinois, the first 2 times that they had the football, they scored, and then they have struggled since then. The second quarter, they only have 52 yards and a couple of giveaways.
Yeah, it's kind of become the A.J. Bush running show, and there have been a number of drop passes that have really hurt him. And, you know, I wonder where Reggie Corbin is. He started out like he left off last week. They have got to get him back involved in this game.
He has 8 carries for 60 yards, and you're right, a lot of that came early. Coming off that 213-yard performance last week against Minnesota. Swing it out to Trenard Davis, his team-leading 27th reception of the season. By the way, good note for Illinois, Ricky Smalling was back at wide receiver on that last play.
Yeah, it's a good throw outside, and you saw the wide receiver go down on the defensive back.
Not a whole lot there that time up the middle. Mick Stoltenberg coming up and making the stop. Corbin a little slow to rise to his feet.
For an injured player.
And that certainly is not what Illinois wants to see.
You know, you called Mick Stoltenberg on the stop there. He's a guy that used to play nose guard for him, was banged up, and then he came back a couple of weeks ago, limited action. Now he's playing defensive end.
But all eyes right now on Reggie Corbin. The junior back is down. Third down coming up after the Reggie Corbin injury, and he had to be helped to the 10. Let's get another look. This was not pretty at the end.
No, I talked about, you know, you have to try to stop a player, and I mean, you want to play running back in the Big Ten, you better be a tough sucker, because, man, that was brutal.
So he is out. Now it's 3rd down and 5. A.J. Bush able to complete it. Ricky Smalling has the first down. He needed 5. He got 6.
Yeah, you said he came back in the game. He looks fine. See it right there. He makes the stop. He squares up the defender, goes on the in route. Ball's right on the money. Really smart. Make sure he was past the chains for the first down.
You mentioned it, though. He was in a lot of pain when he went out earlier with an apparent leg injury, but looked good there. So now, without Reggie Corbin, remember, they also are without Mike Epstein, who had an injury. So it's up to Bonner and Brown to carry it in the backfield, and Bonner got 6 yards there.
Yeah, you know, we've seen Bonner. He's good. We talked about Dre Brown a week ago, had his best outing. And what I was really impressed on that run was the offensive line. They came off the ball and got movement.
Rod Smith really praised those 5 up front who have started every game this season. Bush, long throw, caught by Davis. Second reception of the game for him, and he has it stripped out of bounds by Trey Neal, and Trey Neal is the one who stripped it free last time.
Yeah, this is a long throw. I'm impressed with the arm strength, and puts the ball right on the money. And you got to put that ball away, though, because he's tried to, but he knows they're going to try to strip it.
Trey Neal obviously has a specialty. But 1st and 10. Pressure comes. Bush goes down. Khalil Davis. Three-yard loss thanks to number 94.
Well, they like to see this because I already mentioned, they talked about the problem they have is creating pass rush on a passer. You don't really think of Illini as a passing football team, but they got good pressure there.
Makes it 2nd and 13. Around the right side for Rayvon Bonner. Flag came in around the line of of scrimmage. This might be coming back.
Actually, 2 flags.
Yeah, 2 are down indeed. This could cancel the 27-yard game.
I guess if it's really good holding, you get 2 flags.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both against Illinois. Holding, number 53, that penalty's declined. Holding, number 65, that 10-yard penalty is accepted. 10-yard penalty, check it out.
So both the right guard and center with a hold.
Yeah, they got them both. I mean, yeah, you can see it right there. I got a big circle for that one, baby. You're just lucky you don't get 2 penalties for 10 yards there. Yeah.
Doug Kramer, the center, and the talented Nick Allegretti at right guard. He rarely gets a penalty.
Yeah, and he's played a lot of fun. You didn't talk about that offensive line. All 5 guys from the state of Illinois. Yep. That's a little unusual.
Homegrown, and Rod Smith said we're lucky that they've been healthy because there's not a lot of depth up front. So now 2nd and 23. Bush dancing, still dancing, and he's got to get rid of it. Flag coming in here at the end.
And you get past the line of scrimmage, because that line of scrimmage was way down the field.
Yep, that's what I was just going to say. Could we have also had an ineligible receiver downfield too?
There's no foul on the play. Going down the field to an incomplete pass. 3rd down.
So all that to put the flag back in the pocket. Doesn't look like much argument from Scott Frost, but
you know that he threw that ball and it went way out of bounds, but that line of scrimmage extends forever.
Reggie Corbin on the bench. That's what they're missing. You also see Devine Ezigbo at the bottom there. 2 of the best in the country in yards per carry.
Now you got to try to do something safe. Just run the football or run one of those fire screens or quarterback draws. But
Bush instead is going to try to wind up and throw it, or will he take off? He takes off. Gets across the 50. Wow. So now you're going to have 4th and about 3. Do you think about going for it,
I don't
Coach?
think about it. I'm going for it. Down 31-14. Doesn't look like I can stop him. I'm going for it.
A.J. Bush was signaling right away. Hey, Coach, we're going for this, and they will. Inside of 2.5 minutes left in the 2nd quarter. Both teams with all 3 timeouts. And A.J. Bush with 111 rushing yards. He had 127 last week. Blitz is picked up. Bush takes off. He's got it. He adds to that big day. Was that a horse collar at the end? Flag comes in, and I believe we're going to get some tacked on. Muhammad Berry got him inside the collar.
You know, Eric Chinander, the defensive coordinator for the Huskers, got to be very frustrated. He's bringing a blitz. And one of the reasons you do that, with a blitz, you fill up every gap. There should be no place for the quarterback to pull the ball down.
First collar tackle on the defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Oh, yeah.
He had the nameplate.
But you bring a blitz and you fill up every gap, and there should be no place for the quarterback to pull the ball down and run, but they're getting out of their lanes.
And Frost saying no. He had the nameplate not technically inside the collar, but the penalty comes down nonetheless. Coming up at half. Discover Halftime Report back in Chicago with Mike Hall, Stanley Jackson, and Chuck Long. Once again, A.J. Bush. He's been a one-man wrecking crew as he takes it down to the 14.
He's like Houdini out. I mean, right. There is nothing there. And, you know, sometimes I refer to quarterbacks as slippery. I don't think he's the slippery type, but, man, he's nifty. Look at that move right there, and he should have been tackled for a loss. and he gets it down to 2nd and 5.
So now he's at 126 yards, one shy of last week. He has the 2 touchdown runs as well. And he's got the option here. He's going to throw it and just get rid of it with pressure coming. 3rd and 4. Well, we have seen Bush convert a lot in tough situations. He's converted 5 3rd downs and 2 4th downs with his legs in this game. Do you design something for him again here, Coach? Just give it to Bush, let him make a decision?
Well, being that Corbin's not in the game, I'm going to have Bush's hands on it. You bet.
Rayvon Bonner to his left in the backfield.
Timeout. Illinois. Their first of the half. 30-second timeout.
First timeout taken by either team. So still 2 left for Illinois. Lise, what's up with Reggie Corbin? You got any word on that?
Yeah, so he came out of the tent, and since then he's kind of been testing out that right leg. He came out of the tent very different than when he came in. He was grimacing in pain when he went in. When he came out, he went over to the bike. That's where he is now, and he's testing it out. He also jogged on it lightly, but keeps kind of pointing down, like I said, to that lower leg, and just, you know, something's up with it. But I don't have word yet on if he'll be able to go back in yet or not.
Okay, thank you very much, Elise. By the way, pregame, it's Reggie Corbin's tradition to warm up barefoot. And even in, what, 15-degree temperatures pregame, he was out there barefoot. How about Elise?
Hey.
She took her shoes off and socks off.
You know, the difference is that he put his socks and shoes back on, and she's still barefoot down there.
Yeah, right, Glenn. No way, I'm not that crazy.
3rd down and 4. Coming right up the middle with the pressure. Throw for the end zone. He caught that. No. He'd say it's incomplete. Sam Mays could not grab it for the touchdown, but we got flags. Dedrick Young was coming up the gut scot-free with pressure, and then I thought Mays may have made the catch, but they said no.
Bush is saying touchdown.
Yeah, Bush thought he caught it. I thought he caught it too. Yeah, but they called it incomplete.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. Defensive pass interference, number 23. The ball by rule will be placed at the 2-yard line. 1st down and goal.
So the call on Boodle. Let's get another look at this.
Pass interference.
He caught it. That's a catch. That's a touch. Oh, wait.
Well,
yeah, he caught it. He caught it. I don't know, though.
His foot's out of bounds.
I don't know if they're going to be able to overturn this, though. Yeah, see that foot?
Does he have control of it before he goes out of bounds?
Yeah.
The previous play of an incomplete pass is under further review.
Okay, so they're going to look at this. Dick Honig, what do you think? Have you gotten enough of the angles to see what you think here?
We lose the ball at one point, and you have to make a determination whether he's possessed the ball when that foot comes down out of bounds. The more I look at it, the view right now that's coming up is a pretty good view, and I don't see the ball hitting the ground. So therefore, I think it's a catch.
But the point that you made is the one that I was going to bring up if you didn't, Dick. That little brief moment there where you lose the view of the football, is that enough for them to say, hey, we can't tell and it's got to be an incompletion?
I think the one view you get from the opposite side tells you the foot isn't out of bounds and that the ball did not hit the ground. So I think they could overturn this to a catch.
We'll see if they do. It sure was either way a spectacular effort by Sam Mays. This one may take a little while to look and see.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands as called. Incomplete pass.
Wow.
So
defensive pass interference is enforced. 1st down and goal.
So, Dick, I guess it's just what we were saying. It must have been that split second where they couldn't see the football.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't
Correct.
know what else it could have been. Okay, thank you, Dick Honig. Well, the good news for Illinois, still have 63 seconds, and you got it first and goal.
Yeah, but she ain't in till she's in. Let me just tell you that. Easy for you to say.
Still a lot of timeouts left. 2 for Illinois, 3 for Nebraska. Keep that in mind if Illinois scores quickly here. A.J. Bush, third rushing touchdown of the game. It has been all about number 1, the senior from Alpharetta, Georgia.
Yeah, A.J. Bush has had a good homecoming.
Spent his first 2 years here in Nebraska. Never saw the field. Redshirted, then didn't play his second season. Transferred out, but he's back in a big way today.
Up for the extra point, Houston Laughlin out of the hold of Hayes.
Nothing really fancy there, right? Just put blockers out in front of your quarterback.
Down on the goal line. Make it more difficult than it has to be.
So that stops the Nebraska run that they had been on. After it was tied 14-all, Nebraska went up 31-14, and now it's 31-21. There were a couple key defensive penalties on that drive for Nebraska. Sam Mays, he thought he had the touchdown catch, but instead his quarterback gets in for the 3rd time today. We talked earlier about the West Division. There's going to be a lot of eyes on some of these games today. The Northwestern in the driver's seat at 5-1.
Yeah, and Wisconsin's playing Penn State. They're struggling today, and Purdue's up at Minnesota. But all eyes have got to be on the Wildcats and what happens. They've got a little cushion there. They have to win 2 out of 3, but they'd like to just get that one done today.
A.J. Bush and Reggie Corbin on the sideline. Corbin still riding that bike, trying to stay loose. Obviously, they'd love to get him back. Wisconsin, though, is down to Penn State 16-7 right now in that contest. Now, Nebraska will have all 3 timeouts in just over 50 seconds. We've got a flag down.
Flag on the line. Tackle by number 46, Alec McEachern.
Personal foul. Face mask. On the kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Well, that's a big penalty right now.
Yeah, you can see he's jammed up right there, and you can see his hand right there on the face mask, and the officials on it, and that's really big at this point, because the decision by Scott Frost, without that, he's got good field position now. Now, rather than just sitting on it before the half, he's probably going to go.
Yeah, you're at the 40. You figure you only need about 25-30 yards to get in the range of your kicker, Barrett Pickering. And that pass batted down by Bobby Roundtree. He's going to keep running, but that hit the ground. And it was a forward pass. Bobby Roundtree, though, this will be his 7th pass breakup of the season.
Yeah, when you watch this, I asked Scott Frost, I said, you know, when I see this screen, quick screen out there, I see that Martinez a lot of times throws it sidearm. And he said, yeah, we do that because we worry about the defensive end getting upfield, getting a piece of it, and that's what happened there.
By the way, those 7 pass breakups for Roundtree, the most by any D lineman in the country. He's pretty good at that. Martinez, deep ball, too far for J.D. Spielman.
Martinez pass is incomplete.
Had the wind at his back. We've seen that a couple times today.
We're on the coverage for Illinois.
A little too much air behind it.
3rd and 10 from the 40.
All right, so now you got 3rd and 10. Illinois still has 2 timeouts. You don't want to give it back to him with too much time on the clock. What do you do here?
Well, yeah, you don't mind giving it back with a lot of times, like, as long as it's way down at the other end of the field.
Martinez. Bobby Roundtree got there and takes him down. What a series for 97. The pass breakup and the sack.
Timeout. Illinois. Their second of the half. 30-second timeout.
First time Martinez has been sacked today, and now Illinois takes a timeout.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised in that situation that they didn't go back to, you know, something that we've seen, you know, one of those jet sweep or quarterback draw, maybe a quarterback read option, because they've been very effective on that.
And Martinez, who started 7 for 7 with a couple of touchdowns, is 3 for his last 7 throwing the football. All this football talk, don't forget it's basketball season as well tonight on BTN. Purdue, Carson Edwards hosting Ball State. 8 p.m. Eastern right here on BTN and the Fox Sports app. Isaac Armstrong with a low punt. Jordan Holmes dropped it. It's still loose. Nebraska says they have it, and they do. First and goal with 20 seconds left in the half. Second botched punt by Illinois.
Timeout for an injured player.
Jeremiah Stovall was able to come up with a football. 3 turnovers this quarter, coach. Now 2 on the botched punts.
Yeah, the kicking game is so important. You can see it right there. I don't think he looked the ball in. He's trying to check the coverage coming down the field, but number 1 rule, obviously, punt return, you got to catch the ball. Well, when in doubt, put that hand up, fair catch it. And if you can't handle even with that, then get away from it. But that was not a hard ball to catch. And then you get on it.
Well, Nolan Burnett had a really good opportunity for Illinois to at least recover it, and he couldn't do it.
See, I don't see where it went right off his face mask. And then they kick it.
It was Burnett that kicked it, and he had a chance. Just fall on it.
You got to get, don't try to pick it up. Fall on it and maintain position. That's a possession. That's a major mistake by him.
So Jordan Holmes botched that one. It was Carlos Sandy who dropped the earlier punt, and then he got replaced by Holmes, and he didn't do much better. And now Illinois has the injury to Kirby Joseph, and he's one of their safeties. So a lot going on here in the final moments of the second half.
Now Nebraska got first and goal, and you got 3 timeouts left, so you got a lot of flexibility in what you can do.
What a momentum shift this could be heading into the lockers. Tossing it over and into the hands. What a catch by J.D. Spielman. I said hands, really hand with a one-handed grab, but Delano Ware with a quick tackle.
Nebraska, their first of the half.
Yeah,
30-second timeout.
Well defended, and man, when you have to throw the ball up there, one-handed catch, and good defense right there, they're right on it, make the play, and sure not what Scott Frost was thinking about doing.
And then Nebraska took the quick timeout.
Ware was all over that play.
So 13 seconds left. Nebraska still with the 2 timeouts. A reminder, Discover halftime report coming up shortly as we'll get you back to Chicago and caught up on all the other action around the Big Ten.
You know what I always thought down here, especially when you don't have the tight ends involved in your offense a lot as far as the passing game. Sometimes they've been forgotten, so now you go with a little type of play action, hit that tight end going right up the middle in the end zone for the touchdown.
Well, they got Austin Allen and Jack Stoll involved last week, 2 tight ends against Ohio State, as you see Kirby Joseph limping off the field for Illinois.
I'd go play action to 86 right now.
Well, that's Jack Stoll. Martinez with pressure. Well, he throws it for a Zigbo, but it's incomplete. 3rd and goal, 8 seconds left.
Well, you know, the thing about it in this situation, very similar when Scott Frost was a quarterback down at Missouri with 7 seconds left, and he took Tom Osborne into running one more play before the field goal because Tom wanted to kick the field goal. At least that's what Scott Frost tells us, and the rest was history.
Well, the whole playbook is open with the 2 timeouts.
Timeout. Illinois. Their third and final timeout of the half.
You know the play I'm talking about where he threw the slant route and it got tipped and kicked up in the air. Matt Davison caught the ball and became legendary. And
what a career Scott Frost had here. The 95 and 97 national titles. We talked about basketball. Don't forget also soccer tomorrow on BTN. A champion's going to be crowned. 2018 Big Ten Men's Soccer Tournament. Live coverage tomorrow at noon Eastern right here on BTN, the Fox Sports app, as Michigan takes on Indiana. There are the 2 titles that Scott Frost was a part of. What a run in the mid-90s, huh? 94, 95, 97.
I think he showed up here around 96. Then was there at 97.
And Illinois will receive the second half kick, but regardless of that, if Nebraska can get in here, what a switch with that botch punt.
Yeah, with 8 seconds, whatever happens here has to happen very quickly.
Martinez throws, and it's caught by the guy you predicted it would go to, the tight end Jack Stoll. Touchdown, Nebraska. With just 3 seconds left on the clock, Stoll gets his second touchdown reception of the season. There you go. You called it.
Yep. I called him a little bit better, I wouldn't be up here with you.
You have more fun up here, though, right?
Exactly.
Well, that PAT got blocked, but it still went through. So he banked one off the upright earlier. That time, a hand got on it, but it still went through for Barrett Pickering. Well, Jack Stoll, the sophomore from Lone Tree, Colorado, who had a great one-handed catch last week against Ohio State, catches the touchdown here.
Yeah. It wasn't badly defended. Sidney Brown almost got a hand of it. Turnovers. How important are turnovers?
17 points off of those 3 Illinois giveaways.
That's what I tell you. Don't give me all that possession time stuff. You know, you tell me about points and turnovers, I'm going to tell you who won the football game.
Spoken like a football coach. Time to take a peek at our Making the Right Play presented by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans, and it's the special teams gaffes.
Yeah, and I mentioned it before. We talked about Scott Frost said the special teams really hurt him last week, and this week maybe it's not good special teams by them. It's poor special teams by Illinois, but it's really turning this game around.
Making the right play for Nebraska, certainly not for Illinois. So Illinois presumably will just go conservative here and take us into the lockers with a 17-point Nebraska lead.
Yeah. You would think. Run a base play, maybe take a knee. I mean, you're going to have your get-back defense for the Cornhuskers.
What a first half for Nebraska, though. 38 points, 356 yards of offense. And it will be A.J. Bush just going to a knee.
And at the end of the first half of play.
And really the difference, as we just showed you, Illinois has forced 2 punts, and they fumbled both of them. And a little scuffle here before the teams get into the locker rooms. A.J. Bush was in the middle of that. Remember, he knows a lot of these guys on the other side. The older players that were here when he was in 2014 and 15. That's not quite sure what precipitated that scuffle, though.
They just took a knee, so I don't know what the deal was, and something was said, I guess.
Oh, yeah. They went right up to Bush, though. No punches or anything, just talking.
No,
and Adrian Martinez.
Yeah. Put your helmet on and go to the locker room. Yeah.
Get to the locker room, young man. After the first half that he had 3 touchdown passes and a touchdown run for Adrian Martinez. And an electric first half at Memorial Stadium for the home squad. Putting up 38 on Illinois. They lead it by 17. We'll go to Chicago after this.
The hallways in Lincoln glorify epic wins. Heisman winners. And national champions. Even so, there's no honor quite as revered in Nebraska as a practice jersey in the shade of black.
And there's the Boneyard. They want to get that black shirt defense back to the days of old. Nebraska up 38-21 at intermission. Before we start the third quarter, we check back in with Elise Smineker.
Hey, Brandon. So I'll start with head coach Scott Frost. He said that offensively, he thinks they're playing well, except when they have penalties, so he wants to limit those. Now, defensively, Glenn, you said he would have to say that they need to improve. Well, what he wants to improve is tackling. That's what he even told me before the game. To limit Illinois' explosive plays, they're going to have to tackle, so that's what they're going to need to do better. Now, I just got done talking with Lovie Smith, and he said that they just have to do a better job on defense, that Nebraska is killing them in the run game. You know, and he says they have 227 yards rushing. That means they're not playing well on defense, and they're taking the ball away. Offensively, though, he said, you know, both teams are really playing well, but now they get the ball, he said, we need to score.
Yeah, to try to eat into that 17-point deficit. But, you know, Lovie Smith last week, they saw big improvement in that defense. Now, I know this is a different animal here today going against Adrian Martinez, but that defense needs to improve in the second half.
That defense last week against Minnesota compared to the week before when they played Maryland was night and day difference. They seemed like they simplified things. They played confident. They did tackle well. They were aggressive. And that's the type of play he needs out of the Illini the second half.
Yeah, that Maryland game, 712 yards of offense. You see the wind knocking the ball off the tee before Pickering can kick it away. The wind continues to be a story. 21 miles per hour right now as we start the third quarter.
How about that wind yesterday here, though? Oh, man.
It felt like 50 miles per hour. Walking around the Haymarket District last night to grab dinner. Boy, it was chilly. Dre Brown stopped shy of the 25. Big special teams hit by Mike Williams. Or Markel Dismuke, I should say, with a tackle. 15-yard return. So now Illinois will try to eat into that deficit. We'll see if they can stick with a run. That's obviously what's been successful for the Illini.
Yeah, and when you talk about the run, mainly it's been #1 A.J. Bush. Now, what are they going to do, Cornhuskers, defensively make adjustment to contain Bush at quarterback?
Rayvon Bonner in the backfield. He's the tailback. He gets the first carry of the second half. Remember, no Reggie Corbin as he left with the injury in the second quarter. A.J. Bush's day. 6 of 14 throwing it, although 3 drops from his receivers.
Yeah, you know, the thing about it, you throw a perfect pass. He's thrown a couple of them. Receivers dropped them, and probably shouldn't count against the quarterback, but it does.
2 Stampley drops and then a Sam Mays drop in there as well. Interesting to see if we get Reggie Corbin back at some point in the second half. We saw him riding the bike for almost the entire last 8 minutes of the second quarter. But Rayvon Bonner's saying, hey, when he's not out here, I can do my thing. First down.
Well, I mentioned this before, Brandon, and you see that read right there and Bonner going. But the thing I'm impressed with is the surge by the offensive line. I'm watching those guys. Modern day football, you don't see many offensive lines come off the ball like they're coming. They're getting good movement.
And because of that O-line, Illinois has 229 yards on the ground. To Stampley, and deep down the middle, incomplete. Intended for Smalling. The coverage was good by Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, it was good coverage, but the way Smalling clapped his hands, normally a guy does that when he thinks, I should have caught that or could have caught it. Had a chance. Good coverage.
Lamar Jackson had an interception last week against Ohio State. A frustrated A.J. Bush. Rayvon Bonner gets it out to the 47. So that'll bring up 3rd and 7 for Illinois.
Now, you know, we talked about pass rush. Eric Chinander, the defensive coordinator for the Cornhuskers, says, you know, if we get him in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, then we can dial up some pressures, you know, because we figure they got to throw the ball.
Let's see what kind of pressure they bring. They showed Trey Neal coming off the edge, but then the safety backs up.
You got 3 receivers over there and only 2 defenders.
Gonna bring some pressure off the edge, but there was a hole there for A.J. Bush, and he does his thing again. Yet another 3rd down conversion, 8 yards.
That's too easy. I don't mean to be critical, but I guarantee you the Nebraska coaches are saying the same thing. We know what's been hurting us. Oh, there might have been a little hold there, though. Nick Allegretti, number 53. Nick, I think he got away with one there.
That's the 6th time, Coach, that Bush has converted a 3rd down with his legs. Here's a flag.
Ball start. Offense. Number 55. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Yeah, you'll see Kendrick Green. He just moves there just a little bit. You got to sit in there. Not worth 5 yards.
1st and 15. Fakes again. Another drop, and that's going to turn into an interception. It fell right into the hands of Aaron Williams. And there's a flag down as well at the end of the play. But that's the 3rd drop pass of the game for Stampley, and this one really hurts. Let's see what the flag is about.
After the interception, unsportsmanlike conduct. Nebraska, number 34, came out onto the field to celebrate without his helmet on. 15-yard penalty, 1st down and 10.
So the penalty, but this stands, and it is a BTN standout presented by Auto Owners Insurance.
Oh, man, I tell you, you got a feel for A.J. Bush. I mean, that's just pitch and catch.
Dominic Stampley now, no catches in this game, 3 drops. And he's coming off those 2 impressive performances against Maryland and Minnesota. And Aaron Williams with his first pick of the season, 6th of the career, and now Ozigbo starts the offensive series for Nebraska with a 3-yard gain. Some pretty quick hands by Aaron Williams.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, oh, look what I found. Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah, that's why the penalty came in right there, on the field without your helmet. Martinez with a clean pocket, but in front of Stanley Morgan.
You know, you see all these teams, these spread teams, they like to run a lot of crossers. A lot of people play man-free coverage with these crossers. You hope everybody gets lost in the traffic there.
First half, a lot of offense. Just the 1 field goal, the 4 touchdowns, the 2 punts. Trying to avoid a punt here, and they will avoid the punt. Circus catch, Devine Ozigbo. Well, he made it a lot harder than it had to be, but it looked pretty. We'll give it a BTN standout status.
I was getting ready to say, oh, here goes another drop ball. I think he got it knocked out of his hands. Good concentration, and he almost came out the other end.
BTN standout presented by Auto Owners Insurance. his 15th catch of the year, and it was an adventurous one. Once again, Martinez, all kinds of time. Diving attempt, J.D. Spielman. And a catch by J.D. Spielman. First down.
You know, from the moment that J.D. Spielman hit the field here in Nebraska, he had special player written all over him. He's a fine receiver. He can carry the ball on reverses. He's a good special teams player.
Yeah, how fitting that he and Morgan both have 5 catches right now, the 2 leaders. Out wide. That one goes nowhere. Let's see that catch again.
Yeah, going to the outside and had to go down low to get it. Look at that. Put the ball away, get down before he gets out of bounds.
Martinez pumps to the right and just throws it back to the left. Zigbo was in the area, no grounding. But Morgan and Spielman, what they've been able to do, not only this year, but last year together, really something. Look, entering today, now they're both above those numbers, but entering today both over 50 catches.
Yeah, you know, you asked Troy Walters yesterday in our meeting when they arrived from Central Florida here to put their offense in, what did you think about those 2 guys? And they said they were perfect. We just need a couple more of those guys.
And Walters actually recruited Morgan while he was at Colorado after Bo Pelini left. And then lo and behold, he gets to coach him here a couple of years later. Over the middle. Zigbo is going to be a couple yards short, so 4th down. And I think you're probably going to keep the offense out there, right?
Yeah, I think so. It's you got a commanding lead. You got an offense. You got a defense back on their heels, and you want to be aggressive. You know, one of the things I asked Troy Walters too, I said, where does your deep threat come in your attack? Because so much of what you see, besides the runs of those throws behind the line of scrimmage or the crossers, and he said, well, in due time, we really don't have those type of guys that have that top end speed yet.
Taking off, Martinez has some decent speed. He needed 3 and he got 4. First down, Nebraska.
You know, I mentioned this before too. That's just not a quarterback keeping the ball. That's a 6'2", 220-pound quarterback. It's like a running back. He runs like a running back. That's what I'm trying to say.
And he's very, very good at running the football. He and A.J. Bush on the other side for Illinois. As Zigbo motions out. Martinez too far in front of J.D. Spielman. He had him.
Well, you know, he had him, but, you know, Sidney Brown had position running with him to undercut that throw. And, you know, so often if you see a defender doing it, a lot of times the receiver will start bending, get a little bit more depth so he can throw it in there. Just not a lot of room for him to lay that ball in there.
10th play of the drive. Swinging it out. J.D. Spielman. Trying to stay on his feet, but he won't make it to the line to gain.
Still not down.
He's got some words for Sidney Brown at the end of it. So 3rd and 2 coming up.
Yeah, watch that. I mean, that's a perfect throw. He doesn't break stride to catch it. He's got it tucked away pretty well, high and tight.
Everyone was trying to strip it out, but to no avail. Over a 4-minute drive.
Trying to gain on that possession time that you always worry about.
You always worry about time of possession. I'm focused on turnovers. Adrian Martinez. He's not going to get there. I thought if he would have just hit the hole, he might have gotten it, but he tried to dance outside.
You know, I agree with you. 3rd and 2, if you're going to go there, now you got to become the running back, you know.
So that's a loss of 1. And will Scott Frost keep the offense out there again? It appears he's going to. Can they get another fourth down conversion? Yes. Into the sure hands of Stanley Morgan. So 2 fourth down conversions on this drive. Scott Frost said Adrian Martinez never gets rattled. He never looks rattled out there.
Do I dare say he should throw the ball back to Jack Stoll again?
Well, you called that last touchdown by Stoll. Instead, it's going to be a run for no gain. Owen Carney and company. Jamal Milan coming up to make the stop. Second and 10.
Can they get more points off a turnover? Is it a big storyline in this game?
Yeah, it sure has. 17 of them off of turnovers for Nebraska, and that's the difference.
Timeout for an injured player.
It's
Media
Jamal
timeout.
Milan is down on the field with the injury. The band all bundled up here in the chilly weather. Watching their Cornhuskers have a 38-21 lead. Some people aren't bundled up. Some people are just saying, forget the shirt. Here's how I'm going to the game.
Oh, boy.
That'd be you if you weren't up here in the booth.
No, it would not.
Second and 10. 14th play of the drive that approaches 6 minutes with 2 fourth down conversions in it. Nothing going right here. Delshon Phillips came in scot-free and knocked down Martinez.
Man, he came in like a shot, though. Watch him right there. He comes on the blitz. They don't pick him up and makes the play on the quarterback. And that absolutely had to be a protection breakdown to leave Phillips alone right up the middle of the defense.
And Divine Ezigbo missed him. He ran right in front of him, never saw him. 8-yard loss.
Screen.
Ezigbo to the 25. Maybe the 24, so that's going to bring up 4th and 9. They've converted twice on 4th down, but that was with 3 yards ago. Are they going to go for this?
Well, the only reason I think they would if they decide to do that is they must be worried about kicking the field goal into the wind.
It's either 4th and 9 or a 41-yard field goal, as you said, into the breeze. Scott Frost says, let's go. Five wide. Martinez is able to find J.D. Spielman. 1st and goal. And the 3rd fourth down conversion on this drive for the Cornhuskers.
Yeah, and one on 4th and 10. I mean, wow. Seems like the underneath coverage, you saw Phillips jump. Safety's slow getting over there.
Right over the top of Phillips' hand, and then Ezigbo follows it up with a touchdown run. Flag coming in from the backside at the end of the play. Jeff Cervinsky sorting it out. This is going to be against Illinois.
Really on the field is a touchdown. Personal foul, hands to the face, defense number 93. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the ensuing kickoff.
So that's against Calvin Avery, and the touchdown stands. 2nd of the game for Ezigbo, his 11th of the season.
Yeah, you can see it right there in the middle. Big number 93, Calvin Avery, had his left hand up in the face mask of the blocker, and he got caught.
And Ezigbo, good drive for him, both catching it and running at 42 total yards on a drive that spans 7 minutes and 48 seconds. Shirts or no shirts, they love it in Nebraska. So Nebraska 24 points off of turnovers, and that is your margin in this football game. Kick died in the wind. Dre Brown returns it out to the 24. They love their corn in Nebraska, and they love their Cornhuskers. Time for our postcards from Fansville, sponsored by Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville, and you always see some interesting things here in Lincoln.
Well, I always thought these people really get into it, and when they come, they know their football, and they're not spectators, they are participants. And how about those guys, huh?
Military Appreciation Day, and there's Nebraska super fan Kevin. He never misses a Cornhusker contest.
Loyal as they come.
Kevin O'Connor here. Throw out to the left, and that one is caught by Ricky Smalling across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Pickup of 6. How about Nebraska, though? On that last drive, they were 3 for 3 on fourth down conversions. Before that, 2 of 11 all season.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that last drive, that's what their defensive corner, Eric Chinander.
This time a keeper who tripped over his offensive lineman, Alex Palczewski.
Yeah, he had some room to run there, but I think 63. I was saying that Chinander, the defensive corner, he loved that last drive. You know why? It was 17 plays, 7 minutes and 48 seconds while his defense is sitting on the sideline.
And now his defense back out there and bottling up A.J. Bush. On 3rd and 1, Bush, who has converted 6 times on 3rd down with his legs today, goes nowhere. This has been the Illinois specialty in this contest, not that time.
I'm surprised they're punting. Down, 45-21. I'd go for it.
Ball on your own 34, but you only need a yard. Only Illinois' second punt as Blake Hayes sends it to J.D. Spielman. And Spielman, it's hit both ways as he's dropped just across the 25. Back to Lincoln after this. We'll check on Spielman when we return. So J.D. Spielman limped off. We'll get to that. But Elise, is there an update on Illinois' Reggie Corbin?
And Reggie Corbin has been ruled out with a lower body injury. They were going to try to get him in when I was talking to people at the start of the half, but he has been ruled out. Milan, he will go back in.
Yeah, Jamal Milan also on the defensive side, as you say, went out with an injury. So Corbin's day is done. J.D. Spielman just limped off after that last punt return for Nebraska. As the Cornhuskers take over here with a quick throw out wide to Cade Warner. And the walk-on Warner past the 35-yard line, tripped up by Tony Adams. Adrian Martinez, 19 of 27. After that last completion, he now has 20 pass catches on the day as the play clock winds down to 2. They got it off, and again, it's the same thing. Back to Warner, and Warner escapes. It gets to the 41-yard line as we go to Chicago. Here's Mike Hall, T-Mobile Studio Update.
Brandon, the other game on BTN's alternate channel right now is Maryland, Indiana, and we're getting closer. Javon Leake with a 27-yard touchdown run, meaning the Hoosiers now lead by 8, 31-23.
That game, a homecoming for Matt Canada, who is from the Indianapolis area.
And we know about Maryland. They've got some athletes that have some scoring ability.
Put up 712 yards of offense against Illinois a couple of weeks ago. Off the play fake, Martinez is now connected on his last 7 passes. That one to Brian Reimers.
Yeah, you talk about Martinez. He started hot, then he kind of went cold. Now he's back hot again.
First time he's hooked up with Reimers today, who's from East High here in Lincoln, 6 miles southeast of where we stand right now, Memorial Stadium.
Did you know that?
because I have Google Maps. You knew that without Google Maps. That's why I'm so impressed with you. Getting toward the end of the quarter here. And Martinez lost the football. On the ground, Illinois and Jake Hansen dive on him, then Hansen lost it out. Boy, how did Hansen lose that?
Martinez, the ball
Mistake by Martinez. You know, you can't hang back there that long. I don't.
Let's see. An interesting announcement here from Jeff Cervinsky.
The quarterback fumbled the football forward out of bounds. There was no possession gained by Illinois. The ball goes out of bounds. Ball's brought back to the spot of the fumble. Second down.
Yeah, so it comes all the way back to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, they got that right. Yeah.
What a break, though, for Nebraska. Ball was clearly out.
It was out, and then it was recovered, but no, it wasn't recovered.
Ooh, or did he have it, and was he down before he lost it?
Did he get it knocked out? Listen,
So he's got it.
Let's see what. No.
The end of the third quarter.
So all of that happened, and now we've got the end of the third quarter. We'll sort it out when we return. Nebraska playing so much better the last few weeks, and they will take a 24-point lead to the fourth quarter. Nebraska by 24. Illinois thought they had a fumble recovery a moment ago by Jake Hansen, but he just never had possession of it. Lost it out of bounds, so Nebraska still with the football as we start the fourth.
Illini showing blitz.
Total plays in that third quarter, by the way, Nebraska ran 21, Illinois just 9 plays on offense. And they're going to get a delay. They never got it off.
Delay game. Offense number 2. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Back to that fumble, just to put this to rest.
Yeah, I think they got it right on the field. You can see it looks like he's in recovery, but as he rolls over, he never had possession of the ball. Then it goes out of bounds, so now it's got to go all the way back to where Martinez fumbled it.
And there's J.D. Spielman. You saw the injury earlier. He's heading to the locker room. Unable to walk normally. Martinez on 2nd and 20 picks up the first down. Without Spielman out there, he goes to his other top target, Stanley Morgan. 31 yards there. Martinez to Morgan.
Sometimes he throws a touch pass. Other times he throws a bullet. That happened to be a bullet right on the mark.
Morgan is over 100 yards with 114 receiving. A little shoveled out. Cade Warner. Fourth catch of the game. That was an interesting pass.
That's a triple option by a different name. That's all it is, you know. See it there? He fakes the dive. He comes. He's going to keep it. Oh, it's not there. So I'll just throw it underhand because this guy's not as good a receiver to throw it overhand. So I'll just give him a softball.
Oh, yeah, it's good. I haven't seen the one-handed underhand soft toss like that.
Cade Warner's going to be mad at me for saying that.
Cade Warner's been a little bit more active. He has 4 catches, came in with 6 on the season. For the end zone, no, dropped in the direction of the aforementioned Cade Warner. Now Adams is trying to say that he picked that off, and they're going to say he did pick it off. Cade Warner can't believe it. We got to see this again.
Ruling on the field is an interception. Touchback. Ball will be placed on the 20-yard line. First down and 10.
Off of the feet of Quan Martin.
Full media timeout.
And into the hands of Tony Adams. That's an interception.
Yeah, and he talked the official into it. Good job.
What a play. Never hit the ground. Illinois football. What a catch by Tony Adams. Let's get another look at this.
Yeah, never give up on the play and great concentration and turnover.
Off the foot of Quan Martin. Adams, his first interception of the season for the sophomore. So now Illinois, after getting their first takeaway, they're still, and the ball came free there at the end. But they're going to say A.J. Bush was down. This is a BTN standout presented by Auto Owners Insurance.
Yeah, I guess he gets an assist with his foot right there, but man, that's good. Like it.
Illinois' 14th interception of the season, but they had not had an interception the last 2 games. They're still top 10 in the country, though, in that department. No room. Rayvon Bonner taken down right around the 25. Let's have a flashback.
Oh, I know it's coming here. Watch this. Scott Frost, the quarterback, he throws it in there. They think it's incomplete. No, it's not incomplete. It's a touchdown. Man, he fired that in there. Matt Davison, there he is, huh? Became a legend right there. Now he's on radio.
Yeah, he's in the booth, and Frost is downstairs coaching him up. A.J. Bush in some trouble. Being chased by Ben Stille, and incomplete in the direction of Ricky Smalling.
Yeah, Mohamed Barry, the linebacker, he came with a delayed rush, and A.J. Bush was more than in trouble. Lucky he got rid of it.
4th and 4. By the way, you know who produced that game in '97? A young Jim Ressler who's producing the game today.
Really?
Alongside great director Pat O'Connor.
I wonder if we get a picture of the young Jim Ressler up there, because I know what the old Jim Ressler looks like.
He hasn't aged a bit. He told us in our headset that we just lost our ride to the airport. Oh, he put his blocks! Back into the end zone. And it'll be a safety. And special teams for Illinois today continues to be a disaster.
Yeah, and Scott Frost was not happy last week, and he says, we're going to spend some extra time and get up with the special teams, and boy, have they ever.
I believe it was Markel Dismuke that came through and batted it. And add 2 more to Nebraska's lead. The sophomore Dismuke blocking the punt, causing the safety. Markel Dismuke with a block. Here it is again.
Man, did he get there. He almost took it right off the foot. I guess if you're the Illini, you're fortunate it wasn't a touchdown and went out of the end zone for a safety.
So now the punt off here, and a bad punt by Blake Hayes, but a decent roll. So that's going to turn out okay, all things considered. But last week, Scott Frost said our special teams was a disaster. This week, it's been Illinois with a disaster. The 2 fumbled punts and now the block punt.
And it all started with that onside kick that was about as bad an onside kick as you've ever seen.
Oh, last week at Nebraska, yeah, by Caleb Lightbourne. He did say that was kind of pivotal, though, for the defense, because after that, they came out and stopped Ohio State, and they really used that.
On a 4th down.
Yeah, they really
right.
used that as a rallying cry. Talking about this defense getting back to former days. A little over 12 minutes left. Zigbo stretches it out near the 30. Reminder, Saturday, December 1st, the champions of the East, the champions of the West meeting in Indianapolis. 2018 Big Ten Football Championship game presented by Discover. Saturday, December 1st, only on Fox.
Yeah, it's right around the corner, but there's still a lot of football we played to find out who's going to be there.
100% on both sides, East and West. Zigbo on that last carry went over 100 yards. And this This time it's Wyatt Mazur. He's the third option at running back. That's his first carry of the game. He gets 3 yards.
Yeah, this series, Troy Walters will come out first and second down with unbalance. So he must be looking at something in particular to try to get to it. Sometimes you go a couple plays in a row to set something up. Now they're empty.
3 to the bottom of the screen. And that one a little high. Trying to get it to Wyatt Mazur out of the backfield.
Yeah, that was... Wyatt was open on the crossing route, but it went sailing over his head. So you'd have to say, after the safety, disappointing series for the Cornhuskers.
Quick teaching moment. Former Nebraska quarterback to current Nebraska quarterback. Flags fly before the snap.
False start. Kicking team number 37. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Injuries have plagued the Cornhuskers this year. Inordinate number. And Scott Frost talked about that, you know, especially early in the year. I mean, I don't know, first 4 or 5 games, they were averaging 10 penalties a game.
Yeah, they've been a little bit better as they've started to play better here in recent weeks. The two have gone hand in hand. Nate Hobbs back to receive the punt, and he's not going to field it. Remember, Illinois has had 2 botched punts, but Hobbs had neither of them. It was Sandy and Holmes, so now they gave Hobbs an opportunity.
He should have fair caught that.
Here in Nebraska, as we look at the game summary, 26 points off of turnovers, and that is your difference.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. And we talk about that, you know, all the time. But you know, once again, the line I've rushed the ball well, not much in the passing game, but to your point, a lot of drops.
They have had an inordinate number of drops that have not helped A.J. Bush. There was a penalty on Illinois on that kickoff, so they got backed up inside the 10, but Dre Brown finds a hole and takes this across the 40. So from the shadow of their own end zone, a 32-yard gain.
Well, that's a way to change field position real fast. Look at it right there. I've been impressed with this offensive line. They're maintaining their blocks, and you saw the center got up on Mohamed Barry right there, and he didn't get over to fill the hole.
Just the second carry for Brown today. You talked about the long run he had last week against Minnesota, 72 yards. A.J. Bush, that one kind of fell out of his hand, but it is going to be incomplete. The arm was coming forward.
Where did he?
Let's go to Chicago T-Mobile studio update. Here's Mike Hall.
Brandon, there's some chaos in East Lansing. The Spartans snap the ball on their own 1-yard line, and it hits the wide receiver in motion. That's a fumble. Draymond Jones recovers it, and all of a sudden a razor-close game is a 10-point lead for Ohio State in the 4th.
Penalties and loss of down.
We got a little bit of chaos here.
2nd down.
They do call that intentional grounding.
Yeah, when he threw it, I didn't see anybody over there. The closest man to the ball was number 55, Kendrick Green, the left guard. But he's not an eligible receiver. There's no one there.
No, not even within 15 yards. So 2nd and 17. It has not been a mistake-free football game for the Fighting Illini. Throwing on the run, into the ground, way in front of Caleb Reams.
That looked about as bad as the intentional downing ball that he threw.
He's been so good running the ball, 144 yards, but he's 7 of 20 passing. And he's just 1 for his last 8.
Now you got a 3rd and 17.
Hands are chilly. Remember, it's cold out there.
Not that cold.
Nebraska brings the pressure. And they take down A.J. Bush. Back inside the 30. Caleb Tanner came through first. And then Nick Stoltenberg cleaned everything up.
Yeah, you'd have to say that's the best defensive series for the Cornhuskers all day long. When you start out 1st and 10 and they end up 4th and 23, you know you played well.
And Mick Stoltenberg has played well today. That's a guy that Scott Frost told us is not at 100%, but he's looked pretty good out there. Low punt. Takes an Illinois bounce to the 28.
Hayes, 43-yard.
Coming up next on BTN, 4th-ranked Michigan, pushing toward that East Division title in the college football playoff. They will be in New Jersey to take on Rutgers, all presented by Jaguar. 3:30 p.m. Eastern here on BTN. Checking on the flag here.
There's no foul on the play. Nebraska's football, 1st down and 10.
So they pick up the laundry. Earlier we talked about Michigan's defense. Michigan's offense this year. You're scoring 31 points. You're only allowing 12. That's pretty good.
No, that's great. That's an understatement right there. And you think possession time, you know, I mean, the other team can't move the ball, so you get right back to the offense, and they control the ball. That offense is going to play to the defense. That's why they're my favorite to end up in Indianapolis.
They have looked very, very good. New quarterback Andrew Bunch into the game, taking over for Adrian Martinez, but saying, hey, I can run the football too, but the ball got punched out at the end, and Illinois jumps on it. Owen Carney got it.
Ruling on the field is a fumble. Recovered by the defense. 1st down and 10, Illinois.
So first play in the game for Andrew Bunch, and he gets it jarred free. That ball somehow stayed in even with all those bodies going out.
And he should have been carrying the ball in his left arm.
Dele Harding punched it right out.
The recovered fumble by the defense is under further review.
Now question, was Bunch ever touching the ball while he was out of bounds? Let's see from this angle. No, I don't think he was. Ooh, I don't know.
Does Natal count?
Well, let's bring in the expert in Chicago, Dick Honig. What do you think?
I don't see a touch of anybody that was out of bounds. The ball carrier is the closest, but I don't see him touching that football.
But just to be clear, Dick, if he's rolling over and it just grazes the back of his jersey as he's out of bounds, it's dead right there, is it not?
That is correct. Any touch of the ball when anybody or anything is out of bounds, then it is out of bounds.
Yeah, but
I don't think it happened. I think it's a fumble recovery.
Yeah, we're all in agreement here. We just saw another angle on it. And it came close, but I don't think it ever hit Andrew Bunch once he was out.
And Dick, if he would have had the ball in his left arm, the guy wouldn't be able to punch it out. It's fundamentals of football. How many times have I told you that?
Many, many.
Here's the look, though.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Illinois football, 1st down and 10.
A frustrating start for the backup quarterback Andrew Bunch. Now it may not matter to anybody else but him at the end of this thing, but
it matters to that guy there.
Yeah, I didn't mean that. Me? But you got to think. What I meant was that you're up 26.
I know what you mean. I just messing with you.
I know you like to do that. Andrew Bunch, though, 5th game he's played in, coming in for Martinez, and he gives the ball right back to Illinois. And there goes Rayvon Bonner. Bonner lost it, but Bonner got it back. Fumbles, fumbles, fumbles. We have seen a lot of them.
Wow.
This time it was Deontay Williams knocking it free.
Yeah, got to carry that ball high and tight. They're not doing that.
That's one way to pick up 33 yards. 1st and goal. Hands it off to Rayvon Bonner again. Gets a little over halfway there. minutes and some change. If you can get in here, make it somewhat intriguing.
Ravon Bonner, the 5'11", 210-pound sophomore from Cincinnati. He hits it in there. He knows how to run down there at the goal line.
They didn't know if he was going to be able to go this week after the injured ankle that kept him out against Minnesota. And of course, they lost Reggie Corbin in the first half. That was the big blow. Bonner walks in, untouched. So Illinois started the game by giving up 4 turnovers. Now they get 2 takeaways on the last possession, and this time they cash in. First points this half.
Yeah, well, look, it's well blocked, and you can see it. They overcommit front side, and Bonner cuts the ball backside. And now the question is, you know, you're down 47-28, assuming they make the extra point. Does Levy go onside kick?
Obviously a 3-score game. McLaughlin does his thing. Bonner into the end zone. Will Lovie Smith go for the onside kick? We'll find out in a moment. Yeah, Mike, still 7:44 left here, and we were pondering before the timeout whether or not Illinois would go for the onside kick. We'll find out in just a moment. But, Coach, let's take a look at one of your specialties here, your coaches of the year.
Well, I'll tell you, Jim Harbaugh, he's my coach of the year, and I have not been on his bandwagon. Tough schedule, a lot of pressure, only lost to Notre Dame. He's got him rolling. Ron Smith, he's not doing too well today as far as his team, but the improvement he's made at Illinois, new offense, 136 yards a game. Really impressive at Don Brown. He's everybody's defensive coach of the year. Remarkable job.
Yeah, he has been spectacular. Okay, now will they do the onside kick? They will not. So McLaughlin goes deep to Woodyard. And Woodyard is going to fair catch it. That'll bring it to the 25. So we saw the coaches of the year. How about your men of the year?
Yeah, Dwayne Haskins, the quarterback from Ohio State, 70% completions, 32 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. Devin Bush, linebacker, man, he's all over the field. And my favorite guy, Rondale Moore, the freshman wide receiver for Purdue, most exciting player in the Big Ten, Rondale Moore.
Dwayne Haskins, by the way, he and the Buckeyes up 19-7 right now.
Defensive touchdown, I might add.
Adrian Martinez is back, so Andrew Bunch came out for the one play and fumbled, and Martinez is going to return to the field. And he's going to throw right away to Stanley Morgan. Spielman went out earlier with the injury, but Morgan's still out there making plays. That one for 17.
Yeah, you know what? 9 out of 10 times in this situation, you think a team would come out and run the ball on first down and get that clock going. Not these guys. There it goes.
Morgan now 131 yards receiving. He's approaching 900 for the year. Tried to follow, Martinez did, behind Zigbo, but he got dropped by Dele Harding for a loss of 2.
You know, the way Zigbo reacted, I think he thought he was going to get the ball.
I think so, too.
He stopped and looked around, and
yeah, he looked confused. Martinez's day thus far has been pretty good.
Oh, you think? I mean, this guy, really impressive.
Thrown for 290s, rushed for 57 and a score. A Zigbo around the edge. Divine Zigbo. He had the long touchdown run earlier, and he's got another one here in the fourth quarter. This one for 60. The senior Divine Zigbo, coach, a 66-yard touchdown run earlier, now a 60-yard.
You know, he had 9 runs of plus 20 yards or more coming into this game, and he's done nothing but to add to the resume. And I tell you, I don't know how cold it is out there. It's not affecting his legs. He was a bullet going down that sideline.
3 touchdowns, and they told us extensively yesterday how proud they were of Ozigbo, who started the year 3rd or 4th on the depth chart. And to see what he's been able to do, inspiring. Before today, he had never had a 60-yard run in his career. Now he has had 2 of them.
Well, I told you I'm a little surprised that when we come out with the runner, came with that pass, and they dialed that up. And, you know, really, the Illini, for the most part, have done a pretty good job on these stretch plays, these perimeter plays all day, but they got outflanked there. And, you know, to add to what Scott Frost said, here's a guy started the year in a 3-man rotation, the 3rd team back. Did not look like he'd get a lot of playing time, but he hung in there, got himself in shape, kept a great attitude, became the leader of the running back room, and now look at him.
Devine Ozigbo with the 3 touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, look at him. He continues to do it. He came into the game with 796 on the season. He has 958 now, and he's just, I mean, help me with my math, 42 yards away from 1,000. He's going to be the first Nebraska back to hit 1,000 since Amir Abdullah in 2014.
You saw Amir Abdullah just got picked up by the Vikings, so he's my neighbor now.
Brown dropped it. Illinois just cannot hold on to the football.
Oh.
And they're going to be back inside their own 10.
You know, you were talking about Adrian Martinez before, and I wanted to mention this, and I forgot, but I had a nice visit with my good friend Tom Osborne yesterday, and we sat down and talked about a variety of things. And when he talked about Martinez, he said, he may turn out to be as good a quarterback as any that's ever played here. And coming from Tom Osborne, that's special.
Oh, that is special, that's for sure. What is with all the drops?
Oh, man.
A couple in the punt game, a few fumbles running it. Now that drop for Brown. Now Lovie Smith just has to be saying, wait, what happened to the team last week?
Yeah, it's they've really self-destructed in a lot of ways today.
Adrian Martinez back on the sideline with his jacket on as A.J. Bush goes to work. That's an errant pass. Incomplete to Sam Mays. Yeah, Adrian Martinez is going to be something. And, you know, Scott Frost told us yesterday when we got the job, that was my first call. I got the job. I called him right away and said, come to Nebraska.
Well, first of all, he said when he was at UCF, they evaluated every dual-threat quarterback in the country, and he was #1. We had no chance to get him to come to UCF. As soon as I got the Nebraska job, boom.
There are a lot of schools that were on him.
And we mentioned it before, he didn't play his senior year of high school football because of an injury. Basketball injury?
Yeah.
Dangerous sport, that basketball.
Yeah, he had the shoulder injury, and some schools sort of backed off of him, but a lot stayed on him, including, obviously, Scott Frost and the Huskers.
Now, see, they substituted late. Illinois, which now by rule, Nebraska has to have time to make their substitution.
And now the play resumes, 3rd and 6. First down, that time a catch, Ricky Smalling.
And he was the player who came in late for substitution. They went right to him.
That's the guy that Rod Smith says we're trying to get him matchups, move him inside, move him outside. They like Ricky Smalling. He's having a bit of a sophomore slump until that outbreak last week. They go right back to him. Just 5 yards there.
Well, Illinois is building something. They're a very, very young football team. And, you know, they're excited about the direction that they're going. And they're playing better. And the score doesn't indicate it today, but without the turnovers, they're definitely playing better.
Now, the 55 points they put up last week was just a huge, huge improvement. A.J. Bush throws it the last second to Sam Mays. First down, but there's 4.5 minutes left with Nebraska in control, 54-28. It won't be easy for the finishing touches of the season for Illinois. They'll have Iowa at home, and then they'll go to Northwestern. A.J. Bush adding on to his big day. Still on his feet into the red zone. DiCaprio Boodle finally escorted him out of bounds.
I'm somewhat surprised how often we've seen A.J. Bush wide open on the runs. Remember, this is the same type of offense that this defense sees all the time from their own offense. And, I mean, that's uncontested. There was no one there.
I'm surprised, too, to give up 172 yards. Like you said, when you see this a lot in practice. Around the right side, Dre Brown gets in for the Illinois touchdown. Points, points, and more points. Now 88 between the two teams with 3:21 remaining. But Dre Brown, after getting into the end zone, he got popped.
Yeah. Ooh, did he ever?
Ran right into Aaron Williams.
You know, I'm wondering if now the way that offense is really moving, if Lovie Smith's second-guessing himself, they should have gone for an onside kick before.
Illinois has done everything on the ground, 368 and 5 touchdowns, but yeah, I'm with you. I was surprised that he didn't onside kick it. Because at that point, I mean, I know we're looking back a few minutes, but it would have been the perfect time with 7.5 minutes.
Well, you know, you got to believe that even the way the game's going, you go onside kick, you get a stop, you get a turnover, you score fast, do it again. If you don't do it, I mean, you're kind of admitting defeat.
Well, now you have to do it.
I thought you had to do it before.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So as good as Illinois' offense has been, Nebraska's offense has been better, and they've broken a school record, 7 straight games now of 450 yards of offense.
Yeah, they're on a roll. You can see that, and it's taken some time, and we keep talking about Adrian Martinez, who's so much of that offense. Let's not forget he's still a freshman now. You know, anytime you're a freshman, you get to mid-year, you're not really a freshman, but he's going to get better and better and better.
Yeah, you think about him when Maurice Washington gets a little older, the running back. Of course, you're going to get J.D. Spielman back. He's a sophomore out wide. They will lose Stanley Morgan.
And they're recruiting well. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, recruiting very well since Scott Frost took over.
And he's getting that walk-on program heated up here in Nebraska.
No, they're not going to onside kick it. They just squib it. And Woodyard goes down shy of the 30. Reminder coming up, Michigan at Rutgers. Presented by Jaguar here on BTN and the Fox Sports app. Adrian Martinez, now his day is officially done. We thought it was done earlier, but the comfortable lead. He will sit out for the final 3:20.
Yeah, he would have been done before if Bunch didn't fumble that ball, obviously.
Well, now Bunch is going to get a redemption tour, although he might just be turning around and handing it off. He's a sophomore out of Tennessee.
Yeah, they're going with the unbalanced again with that 2 backs in the backfield.
And off to Mikhail Wilbon. Bunch did get a start against Troy when Martinez was injured. A tough loss early in the season. He threw 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Yeah, you think about the start for Nebraska. The first game is canceled because of weather. They lose a close game to Colorado. They lose Martinez. Then they have to go with Bunch. They lose to Troy. And then, you know, against Northwestern, who may play in Indy, they very easily could have won that football game.
This would be their 3rd win of the season. Illinois dropping to 4-6. The final 2 games for Nebraska, here against Michigan State and then at Iowa. If they can end here on a little bit of run, what an uptick it'll be going into the offseason.
Yeah, especially if they can win those 2 football games.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be interesting that their offense will be a test against Michigan State next week, because we all know Michigan State plays some really salty defense. So be interested to see just how far they've come along.
Michigan State right now losing 19-6. But both of those teams currently in the top 25, Michigan State and Iowa.
Iowa plays awful good defense, too.
Yes.
Let's not forget that.
Wilbon trying to cut it back.
I don't know, but there's something wrong with that play.
21, Mikhail Wilbon.
You think about, though, we showed the progression of the offense throughout the year, Coach. The last 4 games, Nebraska scored 183 points. That's over 45 a game.
Yeah. The way their defense played, that's a good thing, you know. And I'm not trying to, I mean, they got a ways to go. I'm really impressed with their defensive coordinator, Eric Chinhander. He'll get them going. He's a realist. He said, hey, you know, they want to throw that term around black shirts. We're not black shirts yet. We got a long way to go.
I was impressed with not only Frost, but you mentioned Eric Chinhander and Troy Walters, too. This is a great coaching staff. Isaac Armstrong punting it to Nate Hobbs.
And who treats us better than Keith Mann?
Oh, the sports information director here. Yeah, he's great.
I'm telling you,
he's great.
I mean, he is. I mean, his staff and everybody, they make our job easy, and it's always a pleasurable experience to come out here to Lincoln.
Yep. We were at Illinois last week, and their staff was great too.
Absolutely.
Got a good crew around this conference. Some of the folks have emptied out of Memorial Stadium with this game well in hand, and the temperature's below freezing.
I might add that these SIDs, they feed you well too.
Yeah, that's good news.
I know it. For a little guy, you got a big appetite.
A.J. Bush staying out there. I thought that they might bring M.J. Rivers back in to give Bush a rest, but it's still #1 on the field.
I would get him out of the game. I would not have him carry the ball. I'd save him to come and play another day.
There you go. Both teams have topped 500 yards of offense on that last run. Trenard Davis pushed out. Adrian Martinez, he did it all. And Devine Ezigbo, he had 3 touchdowns as well, all making for a happy Scott Frost.
Yeah, and A.J. Bush, he represented himself well coming back to Lincoln, where he left after a coaching change.
Yeah, and now he's going to try to get rid of this football. Oh, it's intercepted by Stoltenberg. And then Stoltenberg dropped it. But it was recovered by Jamal Woods, and Stoltenberg, who intercepted that, is injured.
Timeout for an injured player.
And the senior from right here in Nebraska fell in a hurry. Oh, you hate for this to happen in this type of a game with 24 seconds to go. You see the brace around the left knee. He's missed 4 games this year with injuries, and he's a crowd favorite.
Look at Scott, you know.
He said, I'm walking off under my own power.
Yeah. Well, he's one of those Nebraska guys. He's from Gretna. You know where Gretna is?
Where?
You go drive right by it when you leave Omaha on the way to Lincoln. Good high school program, and he's had some injuries, and you're right, he's a crowd favorite.
Yeah, he got twisted around by Alex Palczewski, but boy, is he tough. The crowd started to roar when he refused to have help walking off the field. And this should write an end to the ball game with a strong run. And with that run, Nebraska goes over 600 yards of offense. Yesterday, Scott Frost said, you know what? I think that this unit is really starting to hum. Boy, did they hum today. 54-35, Nebraska the winner.
Yeah, it's a long way to get this program back, but they got the right man leading this program, Scott Frost.
And that'll do it from Nebraska, 54-35 for Glenn Mason, Elise Spenneker. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Now let's send you to Maryland and Indiana. Here's Lisa Byington and Jay Lehman as we say so long from Lincoln.